In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to connect your WordPress site to your Mailchimp account so that whenever you publish a new post, it's automatically sent out to your subscribers in Mailchimp in a template that you define and create, and that we're going to create together in this tutorial. And it's going to be completely automated, possibly taking your newsletter updates completely off your hands and having them completely on autopilot. And we're getting started right now. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. It's Bjorn from WPLearningLab, where we help you get better at WordPress so you can earn more for yourself, for your clients, and for your business. If you're new here and you like WordPress and you want to learn more about it, you want to learn WordPress tips and tricks and all the cool stuff you can do with it, click the subscribe button, then click the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything. And if you like deals, I've negotiated a killer discount with InMotion Hosting, up to 57% off their plans. Not every plan has a big of a discount, but every plan is discounted. So if you're looking for new hosting for yourself or for a client, check out the description down below. There's a link there. I'll tell you all about how to cash in on that discount. With that out of the way, let's head in the screen capture and start doing some WordPress. For this tutorial, we'll be working in 3 different places: our website, our Mailchimp account, and our email inbox. Now, first things first, you have a Mailchimp account, otherwise you'll not be able to create anything we're doing here. I've linked to a card up above that walks you through how to create and configure a brand new Mailchimp account from zero. And this is actually the account right here that we created in that tutorial. If you don't have a Mailchimp account, check out that tutorial right now, then come back to this. I also have 2 further tutorials that show you how to integrate Mailchimp with your website so you can create what are called lists. Lists are just a list of names and email addresses of people who have consented to receive information from you. And I've covered that in 2 tutorials. They're linked above and in the description. Check those out as well, because you're going to need to be collecting people's names onto your list before you can send them blog updates. And the lists that we create in those 2 tutorials are actually the CF7 Mailchimp list and I believe the WP PhD test list in those 2 tutorials. And we're going to use the CF7 Mailchimp list as the demo for this tutorial. Which list you create doesn't really matter as long as you have one, and it's collecting names through your website. Once you have all those prerequisites, log back in your Mailchimp account, then click on Campaigns. Inside Campaigns, we want to click on Create Campaign with a nice big blue arrow right here, leading us to our Create Campaign button. In here, you can let them guide you just to walk through all the features that you want, but I'm just going to go right ahead and click on Create an Email. Now there's 4 options: regular, automated, plain text, A/B test. We want to create automated. Now under automated, we have even more options: featured, subscriber activity, e-commerce, date-based, API. A lot of options. Under featured, the 3rd option is share blog updates, which is what we're looking for. So we're going to click on that. I'm going to call this share WP PhD blog updates. Then I'm going to select the list. And I'm going to select the CF7 Mailchimp list, like I told you earlier. Then I will click on begin. Now we need an RSS feed. Now in WordPress, pretty much every WordPress site by default has an RSS feed. If you go to your homepage and you type in /feed, 9 times out of 10, that will take you to the feed. This is what your feed will look like. It's XML. It's not pretty to look at, but feed readers and providers like Mailchimp can read this data and do useful things with it, like send automated emails. So we're going to copy this URL, paste it into this field. Next, we decide when they should send. So we'll only send if there's new content. Okay, that's great. And basically, when there's new content, what happens is this feed is updated. Mailchimp is notified because they're tapped into the feed. And they will send out based on what you set here. If you publish new content every single day, but you tell it to only publish every week, then it's not going to post every one of your pieces of content. So the way you choose to do this is up to your preferences, up to what your audience wants. You can even have multiple different lists. So when you have your sign-up form, you could have them choose whether they want to receive updates daily, weekly, or monthly. And then they have more control over how many emails they get from you, which is a great option. For now, I'm just going to choose every day. I'm going to choose all the days, because I actually want to receive this test email in a timely manner. And I'm actually going to choose, it is now 4:14 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm going to choose, I guess 8 is the closest Eastern time. That's in 45 minutes. So hopefully when I test it, I'll get the email in less than 45 minutes from now. But if not, I'll pause this video and wait till 8 p.m. So we have the option to resize RSS feed images to fit a template. We don't know yet whether we need to do that. We find that out in our testing. So I'm just gonna not check this box and then see what happens. Here's a bunch of other posts if you want to read those, or if you want me to do tutorials more specifically, let me know, but that's not what we're covering here. Down below we have the steps we're going to go through. So we just defined the RSS feed. I'm going to click on next to go to recipients. I'm just going to click on the next button down the bottom right. And if at any time, like say you can't finish this process right now, you can click on save and exit at the top and carry on later. But we're going to go through the whole thing right now. So we're sending to our list. We're going to choose the entire list. We can have a pre-built segment. List segmentation is very important. An example of a list segment is the example I gave earlier. If someone says they want to get an update every day versus every week versus every month, those are 3 different segments that you can build into one list. But I'm just going to send the entire list, and that's good. I'm going to click on next. Under campaign info, we set some basics. The campaign name, this is visible only to you inside your Mailchimp account or whoever else has access to your Mailchimp account. The email subject by default is this, posts from RSS feed title. This is pulled from the RSS feed over here in the title tag. So for example, here's a title tag. This one is called post with image. So this would pull in for that specific entry, posts from post with image for, and then the date in the RSS feed, which is also in here, which is right here, the publication date, and you can change this. So don't feel like you have to keep that format. Generally, the best thing to do is just have the title. So what I'm going to do is delete everything else and have just the title. And then you want to make sure you write your titles in a way that would make sense as an email subject line, or at least not look weird as an email subject line. Because this needs to be simple, right? And if it's going to be automated, you can't be in here trying to finesse the title for every blog post. So you got to, at some point, make a decision to write simpler titles that make sense as email titles or email subject lines. Preview text, you can put preview text in here. If your feed includes an excerpt, which it may, the description, for example, we can more than likely, I haven't tested this yet, but I believe we can just go like this. I'm going to find out in a little while. Description. And we'll find out if this appears as preview text. And then after the preview text, we have our name, which is the name that you'll be sending from, usually your name or your company's name. The email address, usually your email address or your company's email address. Some options for tracking. You want to track opens, so you know what the open rate is. The open rate is a great indication of how great your subject line is or how poor it is. These days, if you have an open rate of 20% or more, you're actually doing really well. There's a misconception that your open rates need to be really, really high for people who are just starting out, but industry average is 20%. And if you're at that level, you're doing really well. So don't freak out if your open rates are not as high as you thought they should be. If they're anywhere near 20, you're doing pretty well. Track links and clicks. On the free account, this is required, and currently we're operating on the free account. You can have Google Analytics tracking if you have a paid account. E-commerce tracking. This works for certain online stores. We click on Learn More right here. It shows you which stores it works on. These are the ones, so if you're running any of these stores, WooCommerce being a WordPress plugin, all the rest being standalone, you can click on e-commerce link tracking, and then it will link or it will associate emails and contacts inside of your Mailchimp with sales in your e-commerce and report that out in Mailchimp, which is super handy. The ClickTail option requires a ClickTail account, so if you don't have an account there, you can click on here to get one or learn more about it, see what it does. Track stats in Salesforce. If you don't have Salesforce, this is irrelevant. Social media options are pretty cool. You can auto tweet when an email is sent out. You can also auto post to Facebook. Obviously, you want to be testing this to make sure that the email content you create looks great in an email, looks great on Twitter, and looks great on Facebook, which it may not, depending on what your content is. So you would definitely want to test those options. And then if you're including video in your content, choose this option to auto-convert the video, because sometimes when you embed video in emails, it doesn't work out quite right. The video is never playable in the inbox, but ISPs, they filter out the content, and it can get garbled sometimes. So Mailchimp has this automated way of converting it and making it work a lot better. So choose that option if you're sending out videos. That's the last option on this page. Click on Next to go to the template. Now these templates are going to be used to send out every single one of your emails. You can change them. You can come in here anytime you want and change the template, but once you've chosen one, that's the template you're going to have for all the emails. And Mailchimp does a great job of mobile optimizing their templates, and there's a lot of options as well. There's layouts, there's a bunch of themes you can choose from, so you can just select any one of these that you like. Actually, before we do that, let's just go through the options up here. Save templates, which are ones that you have used and saved on your account. Campaigns, this is when templates are sent out that you've used previously but may not have saved. You can have them here. And code your own allows you to code your own. So if you're good at coding, this is the place for you. If you want to save time and you're not great at coding, either choose layout, where you get a wireframe and you have to put in all the content, or choose a theme where they've taken those wireframes and already added content. And I'm going to use the theme in this case. There's a lot to choose from, as you can see. And I'm going to choose a pretty simple one. Let's just choose this one right here, the elegant. Looks very nice. And this is where the magic happens. Keep in mind when you're making this template that you want to be able to use this on autopilot for a long time. You don't want to be changing this every week. So think of it from that perspective when you're changing the text on here. If you're not using variables to create the text, make sure that it's text you want to have there every week. For example, down at the bottom, we have variables. For the copyright, we have the current year input, which is a Mailchimp variable, the list company, a bunch of other stuff that I'm not sure of, list description, a bunch of Mailchimp variables, is my point, that update as required. Product announcements, this you could possibly keep as certain products you want to promote. Maybe you only have one product that you want to promote. Maybe promote a product for the season, things like that. So you can have this place stay how it is or change it. And sometimes your session expires, then you have to resume your session and then carry on. And if we go to, let's let it refresh here, we'll go to the top of the page again. You're probably going to want to change the logo. Just click on the pencil. Logo information is going to be over here. You can replace it with a new one. You can choose files. You can upload files. You can edit it. Mailchimp has quite a good editing area where you can do all kinds of stuff as listed up here with your images. You can add alt text for the logo in case the logo does not appear in the email. So if the image is blocked inside the recipient's email account, they will be able to see the alt text. So quite commonly, the alt text you want to put in here is please allow images to see this image or something like that. Basically telling them to allow images to see the full content of the email. So after the logo, we get into the meat of the email. I recommend just to keep it as simple as possible if this is a blog post update. And we have on the right-hand side an RSS header and an RSS item option. These are ones that are created on the fly from your blog posts. So we can drag and drop these anywhere we want. I'm going to drag this block right to the top. And this is the title for the RSS feed and the description for the RSS feed by default. On the right-hand side, we have editing options. There's the basic option, which just pre-fills the title and description as you see over here. Intermediate adds some more information. The title, latest posts from RSS feed URL, which is your website, on this date. The advanced one has still other options. And then you can use the custom to create your own markup. And there's a handy dandy link right here to Rss Merge Tags. So if we open this in a new tab, there's a whole list of RSS tags you can use inside of your emails. And this is what I meant by making sure the content is dynamic. Meaning when the email is sent, it's always different based on what is in the RSS feed. And there's no static things like a letter from the president, because you don't want that in every email. I'm actually going to delete this. I'm going to change this top part back to the basic one. And the main content of the email, press the wrong button there. The main content of the email, I'm going to delete the one they have, and I'm going to insert the RSS items, which is the actual blog posts. The RSS feed and title is the general information about the RSS feed. The items are the individual items. And this works kind of like most programming languages where they wrap the item in in tags, so to speak. So the very first line, I can't hover over because it'll cover it like this, but the very first line says excerpts, then RSS items. So that opens the RSS item block. Then at the bottom, we have end RSS items, that ends it. And then that will repeat for as many items as you have in that session. And then inside those items, we have the title in red. As you see it in the design here, that's how it's going to appear in the actual email that's sent. So the title is going to be big and in red. There's going to be content down below, which is just the excerpt, and then a read-on link that takes them to the actual post. And on the right-hand side, if you're not in this editor, you have to hover over it, click on the pencil, then it opens this editor on the right. You can choose from any one of these. I recommend that you do excerpts and titles only. I don't recommend you do full content in an email, although it's up to you, but it's better to have people click from an email to your website, which has a lot of benefits, including Google Analytics, if you have that installed, can see that more and more visitors are coming to your website, which is good. If they spend the time reading your email or reading your content, which they probably will because they're your followers, that boosts your on-page time, which Google sees as a very positive metric. And then you have the option as well of going to custom. And again, you can pull the RSS tags from this other page with the RSS feed tags and customize all this information as you see fit. There's also a style tab, which allows you to style a lot of the elements. And as you can tell, this is going to take some time to get it just right for what you need, but that's okay, because once you have this set up, if you set it up the right way, you never have to change it again, or you have to change it very infrequently, and it can take a lot of work off your plate. When you're ready to test it, there's preview and test up here. There's a lot of options in here. Enter preview mode. If you click on there, it opens, as you might guess, preview mode. Just waiting for it to load. Then we see what this email would actually look like with merge tags enabled. So post with image, as you recall, was this very first one in here, post with image. This is the one at the very top of our RSS feed. And this is the information that we're given. This post has no content in the actual page, that's why there's nothing here, but there's a link to view it in the browser. If you click on there, it'll load that post and you'll see there's not much going on. Just a title with an image. And then it has a date. It has, oh, by the way, this isn't a featured image. If this was a featured image, you can set it to have it pulled into your email as well using the shortcodes. But it has the date, the publisher or the author of the post, the link to the post, links to recent articles. And here's the cool part of Mailchimp, and many others are doing this now as well, but there's a mobile tab. So that's the desktop view. This is what it'll look like on mobile. And the inbox tab is very cool, but you do have to pay for it. You have to buy tokens for the inbox tab. And it's powered by Litmus, which is an awesome inbox tester, actually quite expensive as a service. But if you have that service, they allow you to test how your email looks in dozens and dozens of inboxes. And you have to buy tokens because it's not free. But seeing it on mobile and on desktop is usually a good enough indicator of how it's going to appear live in someone's inbox. So if we close out of that preview and test, let's go into push to mobile. This is a great feature. It only works if you have the Mailchimp app on your iPhone or your Android phone. But if you do, you just click on that push to mobile button. And if you're logged in to Mailchimp on your mobile phone, you get a notification and then you can view what that email looks like right on your phone. And this is basically saying download the app to make that happen. If you open the link checker, it allows you to check the links. So it pulls all the links that are in the email. You can click on them and it loads a preview if there's one available. And in this case, we have a bunch of RSS feed variables that change every time, so it can't really pull in a preview, so none of them actually have previews. But if you do have hard-coded links in here, you can check out what they look like in there to make sure they all work properly. You can send a test email. So if we send the test to me, we'll see how it looks like live in an inbox. And we'll take a look at that test email in a minute. There's two more things I want to show you inside of this editor. Well, three more. There's all these options as well for hard-coded content if you want to add that to your emails. The design tab, where you can customize all the colors, layouts, all kinds of stuff in here. Comments, you can send a test email to a colleague or someone else, your designer or somebody, and if they reply back to that email, those comments appear right here, which is pretty cool. And if you're happy with your design, you can save it as a template or just click on next, either one. I'm just gonna click on next. And then we're gonna actually test this out. I'm gonna post a brand new post to the website and see if that's delivered to the email. So here we review what we've done. RSS feed, that looks right. Our list, that looks right. And we can go through all of them. Didn't check our social cards. We chose not to enable them. Maybe we'll do that next time. I'm gonna click on Start RSS at the bottom. Then Start Campaign. And now our campaign is live. It actually tells us when it's gonna go out the next time. So it's RSS email will go out tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I was hoping it would go out today at 8 p.m. because that's when I decided to set that to, but I guess not. They have other plans. And it's gonna be scheduled the way I had it set for every day at 8 p.m. It's gonna check the feed and send out an email. So you wanna make sure that the timing you have set for your campaign loosely matches the timing you actually publish on your blog post or on your blog. And I'm just gonna check in my email account what the email looks like. So this is our test email right up here. So we see that the RSS feed description didn't pull in any information, but the actual content is there. WP PhD, this is our sandbox, is all in there. Just like it was in the preview, didn't pull in these images. I guess we're not here to display images. If we had the alt text for that logo, which I didn't actually enter, it would say right here, please enable images, or whatever you had for that set for the alt text. If we click on display images, then that logo loads. Then these two buttons load. And it even pulled an image. Didn't have this in the preview, but it pulled it in for the live email, which is pretty neat. And there we have a mail that's automatically sent. Now what I think I want to do, I haven't done this before, but what I think I want to do is just pause this recording and wait until tomorrow at 8 p.m. Actually no, first I'm going to create a post. So let's just create a post. And we're just going to start this video up again tomorrow after 8 p.m. Eastern and see if this new post that we create right now is going to be in there. So for you, it's going to happen almost instantly, but for me, it's going to take a whole day. So let's call this RSS Feed Auto Email Test. This is great. Then I'm going to click Publish. I'm going to go back and change my send time to something a little more convenient. Let's go to our campaigns. And this one should be listed there. There it is. Let's go to pause and edit. Guess we have to pause to be able to edit it. And that's fine. We'll pause it. We're going to change the RSS feed. And I'm going to change this to, let's change it to 3 a.m. so I can record this video in the morning. And then click on next. Actually, we're going to click on save and exit once the next page loads. Save and exit to campaigns. Then ask me if I want to reactivate the campaign starting at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. Yes, I do. Now I'm going to put this video on hold until tomorrow morning after 3 a.m. And hopefully, if everything went well, this brand new post that we created right here with this title is going to appear in the email account that is on my list. And we'll see. I'll see you then. It's now the morning after, and it's time to log into my email account to see if I received the automatic email that was sent after publishing this, and that was sent, if you recall, at 3 a.m. Of course, you recall that was 10 seconds ago for you. For me, it was a long time ago. But if this email arrived, that is a success. So let's log into that email account. It's not this one. It is this one right here. So here we are in the email account. I have to look for a timestamp of 3 a.m. Eastern, which is midnight Pacific time. And here's one at 12:01 from me, WP PhD. Let's click on that. And hopefully the title in this email is this right here, RSS Feed Auto Email Test, which is the one that we just created, if I can find it, over here. So that works. At this point, it's worth putting in the time to get this design exactly as you want it, because this may be taking the newsletter sending off your hands forever. So put in the time up front to get this design just right, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. The very last thing I want to show you is, I should have shown you this when I first published this article, but I didn't, so I'm going to show you now. But as soon as you publish something new, it goes into your feed. So right now, the very top one, this is the very top of the feed right up here. The very first post is post with image. If I refresh this page, it's now going to have that RSS test as the first post. And here's the RSS feed auto email test as the first post, and then the post with image is the next one. So every time you create a new post, it's going to show up at the top, the other ones are going to be moved down, and Mailchimp will pick up the most recent ones, depending on your settings, and publish those via email to your subscribers. So that's how easy it is. I hope this video helps you. If you haven't done so yet, click subscribe, then click the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything. Check out the half off or more than half off for some plans hosting offer in the description down below or on the card that popped up. And next up is clicking one of these videos that popped up on the right hand side so you get even better at WordPress. And until next time, keep crushing it, and I will see you in the next video.